US President Donald Trump has named his new ambassador to Panama as he threatens to regain American control of the Panama Canal. Trump has been critical of China's influence in running the shipping lane, prompting pushback from Panama's president.
With just 25 days remaining until Donald Trump returns to the White House, the president-elect is focusing on the Panama Canal. On Christmas, Trump kicked off lengthy posts wishing a Merry Christmas to all, including, quote, the wonderful soldiers of China who are lovingly but illegally operating the Panama Canal. It comes as the incoming president has repeatedly threatened to regain control of the 48-mile waterway in Central America, a key component of U.S. freight transportation. Wednesday, Trump named his pick for U.S. ambassador to Panama, saying in a statement, I am pleased to announce that Kevin Marino Cabrera will serve as the United States ambassador to the Republic of Panama, a country that is ripping us off on the Panama Canal far beyond their wildest dreams.
And the Panama Canal is critical to our national security. And at present, it is being run by the Chinese Communist Party. So it's a concern? Absolutely.
Cabrera, a Florida county commissioner, worked for the Trump campaign in 2020. The 34-year-old was born in Miami to parents who fled Cuba. Trump boasted of Cabrera's qualifications on social media, writing, quote, few understand Latin American politics as well as Kevin. He'll do a fantastic job representing our nation's interests in Panama. Additionally, the president-elect has been making headlines over boasts of wanting to buy Greenland and suggesting Canada could become the 51st state. Some Democrats say such moves signal a turbulent administration ahead.
It signals chaos. It's as if Trump took out a world map and started throwing darts and decided to threaten whatever country the darts land. I mean, Greenland, Panama, Canada, no one saw any of this coming because this is what Donald Trump does. He stirs chaos.
Despite Cabrera's nomination, the U.S. Senate still needs to confirm President-elect Trump's pick.
It was quite a Christmas message from Donald Trump. He spoke, of course, about the Panama Canal, buying Greenland and making Canada the 51st state. Joining me live is US political consultant Aidan Smith. Aidan, we've heard a lot of interesting things from Donald Trump over the years. Is this just posturing? What do you think?
So I think definitely, as far as we can tell just from our vantage points, I think it basically is posturing. I think more interesting than how serious he is to actually embark upon something like this. It's just kind of looking at the roots of why we've had this kind of rhetorical resurgence in like irredentism. When it comes to Greenland and Canada, it's not entirely clear. I remember Trump made similar comments about Greenland in, I want to say, 2019, 2020. For Panama, that's a kind of deep cut. Back in the 70s when Jimmy Carter returned the Panama Canal back to Panamanian sovereignty, there's a huge rallying cry among a lot of conservatives at the time that, he was giving back U.S. territory. I think as far as I can tell, a lot of this is since we've had this renewed great power competition with China, really, in Africa, Latin America, what have you, Panama and Central America in general, I think that there are plans of a Chinese-backed canal in Honduras to rival it. I think that's mainly it, is kind of looking at it from a U.S.-China lens. But I think we'll really just have to see till the early days of the administration. We'll probably get a better sense of whether this is just posturing or whether he actually wants to take this up a notch and really push at this.
There are a few other priorities, aren't there? So Denmark really don't have Greenland up for sale. The whole idea of Canada becoming the 51st state is look, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I think they even did. It's kind of interesting in Canada. You did see a few kind of high profile leaders, pretty firmly on the right of the political spectrum. One of the leaders of the opposition in the 90s, I believe, Stockwell Day, I think is his name, almost rhetorically kind of give their sympathy to Trump's proposal. When it comes to the actual polling among Canadians, it's pretty clear. It's like only 13% of Canadians or so would even remotely partial to the prospect of annexation. So that's just a really weird saga, and we'll just have to see whether, how far Trump wants to push this rhetoric going forward.
What do you make the latest with Elon Musk? Basically, he is everywhere, getting a lot of publicity. He's by Donald Trump's side. Do you think Donald Trump's starting to get a little annoyed with Elon Musk?
So I think on a private level, absolutely. And I just say that because prior to 2024, their public relationship was never particularly positive. I think Musk, I don't believe, endorsed Trump in 2020. I believe he endorsed Andrew Yang, one of the Democratic primary candidates. There's an old footage of Trump kind of making fun of Musk and on a campaign rally, I think in 2020, where he's, claiming that in office, Musk went to him and kind of pledged his loyalty in in Oval Office meeting, but didn't really correlate that publicly. I doubt there's really that much love amongst one another on a personal level in terms of this like really unique business relationship, in the sense that Musk is probably the most powerful private citizen in U.S. history, at least since the days of William Randolph Hearst or the likes of Henry Ford 100 years ago. I think with the current issue over the visa thing, where Musk is really not aligned with the mainstream of the MAGA right, it'll be interesting to see just how long this relationship will last. I mean, Trump is obviously in his first term was pretty prone to firing or removing appointees at will. Musk is such a powerful ally where, it's kind of a more complicated thing than just firing, say, a press secretary or whatever. But also, if Musk is fired, it's not really like he would have that much recourse to really get back at Trump or whatever, at least not in the immediate. I mean, he could fund, anti-Trump Republicans in 2026, 2028. But yeah, for now, I mean, it's just kind of personalist politics, for lack of a better term. So we'll just have to see.
We've seen the health issues with Bill Clinton in the past number of years. He's been taken to hospital.
Yeah, and I think that he was just released, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not entirely sure the seriousness of his condition. I think putting aside the human aspect of it, but just thinking, the political development of this happening in kind of the transition period between the two presidencies, already like presidential, and not to be morbid, but when we've had presidential, when worse comes to worse, funerals of former presidents, that's always been a kind of politically charged event, especially in the last 10 years. So, I mean, it's obviously takes second, third, fourth priority to the person's health. But I kind of think that there was expectation among a lot of commentators that if worse came to worse, this would have been a really odd political moment as well. But obviously, hopefully that everything goes well with his recovery.
Thank you, Aidan. Good to chat. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too.